Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call our regular council meeting for November 9th, 2015 to order. Would you please to the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order is the approval of our agenda. And we have some things we have to alter. Number one, the Goodrich Senior Living. Mr. Bennett can't make it here this evening, so we're going to have to put that off until next month. Under new business, a resolution for PA 152, I would like to table that, and we're going to have a special meeting for that. And I would like to add what I probably have penciled in number 9, the Spicer. I'd like to put that in its place.
Spicer Group. And Mr. President, if I may, can we add the real last black and string to unfinished business, please?
No. Anything else? I'm looking for a motion to approve our agenda for this evening.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda for November 9th, 2015. It's a change.
I'll support. Roll call, please.
Cafferty?
Yes.
Cory?
Yes.
Fitch?
No.
Walton?
Yes. First order of business, we have a special visit from our friend Levi. So if we could have Levi come forward on his leash, please.
Just want to say thank you for everything that you guys have done for us and for the community. You've definitely been one of a kind through the academy.
Is it good or bad?
It's been great. It's been great.
And
He's,
Levi came from where?
From Holland. Yeah.
And you've had him for how long?
A little over a month and a half. He's been here and been working at it. We got another week left to finish out our academy time and be out on the road.
You get him out on the road, he's pretty young.
Yeah, there's things that he can do.
Anytime he wants to do.
We're gonna let him do it too. And what is Levi's specialty? What exactly is he going to do?
Right now, I'd say his strongest right now is dope work, finding narcotics and things, whether it's in vehicles or buildings. He's got that down really well. His tracking is about 500, 600 yards before he gets tired, so we're still building that.
Very cool.
And Levi stays with you the entire time. He's part of your family?
He is, yep. We're still trying to get him integrated into the family. All his time growing up so far has just been in a kennel, so this is definitely a change for him and for us.
And I would welcome any questions from the public.
Is this your first dog?
This is, yes, yep, first one.
Will you take him into the schools
Yep.
for the checks?
At the school's request, you mean for checking lockers and, yeah. Yep, we'll be available for that.
Any other questions? You have to be afraid of him.
How old is he?
15 months.
How many commands does he know?
Ooh, somewhere around 2 dozen.
Wow.
Are the commands spoken in another language?
Some of them are, some are plain English, and some are my own gibberish that I made up.
Oh.
So, combination.
Nobody starts speaking gibberish, please. Very low.
Yeah, I know someone
He understands what I'm saying sometimes and nobody else does. Part of spending so much time together, I suppose.
Does the K-9 group help with the vet bills and I know they do fundraisers and that, so will you become part of that?
Yeah, the Canine Association, yep, yep,
So you have an annual golf outing and
yep.
to raise money?
Yes.
And he won't be like Sergeant Ancliffe's dog who ate the towels all the time?
No, he doesn't have a towel fetish, he's more into ropes and balls. and-
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Golf balls.
yeah. Yeah.
You work with other counties with them too?
Yeah, right now we're doing our training down at Oakland Community College, and some of our training is with other deputies from down there, from their county. And so that opens up opportunities later on that we can train together. We also train with all the other K-9 officers in this county and the peer.
Is that just the type of training that you see on TV where you're all like suited up and the dog just like attacks you? Or is it
Sometimes
more
that's-
sniffing training?
That's the aggression work that we do for, say, apprehension or buildings or, like the major felonies where he would use that skill.
Okay,
A lot of our work is just doing regular tracking, having somebody go out of a building, walk away, walk down the road, through the trees, through the woods, and go out and try and find them. Which sometimes at the end of those tracks, we're trying to get him to understand that sometimes there's somebody bad that you want to get, and sometimes you're just out looking for a child that's walked away.
okay.
And that is something that he has picked up very fast and has become very proficient at. When he finds a child or whatever, somebody that, I've commanded him along the way to not be aggressive with, he'll just get close and lay down.
Oh,
He stays with you at your home. Do you have children?
I have one. I have a 2.5-year-old.
Your wife, everybody, it doesn't seem to be an issue. Is she a little concerned about it?
No, she's actually spent 9 years at the sheriff's office. So she understands some of the police side of this and has worked along with K-9 officers as well. So she knew what we were getting into.
Does he have a bulletproof vest?
He does not yet, but
gonna get
we
him
were
one?
looking,
Good.
yeah, my wife feels pretty strong about that.
I agree.
yeah.
Because we'll be in situations that, it won't be something that he's wearing all the time.
No, I was
But there will be
told
situations that we'll be getting
Yes.
into that,
We don't want to lose him either.
yeah.
Well, we're honored to be a part of it.
We thank you a lot. Yep, and this will be huge for the entire community, like I said.
Anybody, anything else? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for everything.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for your time, yep.
Please come back.
I will. I'll let you guys know when we're doing training.
Oh, yeah.
When we're up in the area and we'll have our group out and we'll make it known to you guys, so you guys come out and see it.
Oh, very cool, thank you.
Mark, can I get a picture of those guys?
Certainly. If they don't mind, I guess I shouldn't speak for them. You want Levi on the leash or off the leash?
Please,
He looked at that first.
Probably wants the candy that's in it.
Thank you.
I got one.
You never took your time. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. I Levi.
Thank you for leaving. We have a special presentation. Would you like to come up and do that? Sure.
I'm Mark Young, I'm County Commissioner for this area for Genesee County, and in regards to the dog, we really wanted to thank you for all the support you've given to the Genesee County Sheriff's Department, As some of you may or may not know, I'm retired from the Sheriff's Department once upon a time, so we have a special resolution here on behalf of the Board of Commissioners. It reads, whereas it is great pleasure to pay special tribute to the Village of Goodrich, and whereas the Village of Goodrich recognizes the tremendous benefit a police canine can provide to a community and donated $10,732 to the Office of the Genesee County Sheriff for a human tracking, drug detecting canine. And whereas the canine deputy, aptly named Levi Goodrich, Malinois, the same breed used to protect the White House, was selected for its tenacious work ethic, energy, and stamina. And whereas the canine deputies are handpicked by trainers that travel to Europe specifically for the purpose of picking the best candidates to become police service dogs. And whereas the canine and its handler undergo 12 weeks of training together to learn the idiosyncrasies and habits of one another. And whereas the bond between the canine and its handler is undeniably strong and grows as they work and live together. And whereas the efforts of the Village of Goodrich to provide funding for a canine will ultimately benefit all of Genesee County. And whereas the canine will be used to track and locate lost and endangered people, suspects, and narcotics. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Genesee County, on a motion by Commissioner Mark Young and supported by Commissioner Tony Brown, does hereby laud, applaud, and congratulate the Village of Goodrich. Thank you.
You're good, Mark. You got a good one. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Pass it on the other end.
I'd like to thank Jackie and the staff for coming up with this idea.
Good idea. All set. Now moving on, the treasurer's report. We got to do direct approval of minutes, excuse me, the council meetings here. The approval of minutes from a regular council meeting, October 12, 2015. Questions?
I'd like to make a motion, we approve the minutes from October 12, 2014.
I'll support. Anything else in discussion? Good, roll call please.
Cafferty?
Yes.
Maury?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Baldwin?
Yes. The special council meetings, October 21st, 2015. Discussion? No discussion, looking for a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes for October 21st, 2015.
Support. Roll call please.
McCafferty?
Yes.
Maury?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Baldwin?
Yes. The treasurer's report, the purple sheet please.
Question, Mr. President.
Yes.
Under construction of 2013, I'm seeing a fund balance of $15,168. Last month, I believe it was $18,321. Curious on what we spent money on out of that fund. For, what was the gravel used for?
Beer Street, what was approved at budget?
And that was part of the original project?
Yes.
Any others? That's it. I'm looking for a motion then to approve the treasurer's report, November 9th, 2015.
Make a motion we approve the treasurer's report, November 9th, 2015.
Support.
Roll call, please.
McCafferty?
Yes.
Maury?
Yes.
Dick?
No.
Baldwin?
Yes. We have the bills and transfers. The green, Kate, please. Comments? There's no discussion, only for a motion that we accept the bills and transfers, November 9th, 2015.
Make a motion we approve the bills and transfer 10/01 to 10/31/2015.
Support.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
McCafferty?
Yes.
Maury?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Baldwin?
Yes. Our public comment time. 3 minutes, please come on up and speak.
Go ahead.
Shirley Kaufman Jones, here as the Atlas Township Supervisor with information regarding under your new business, item 8, resolution 2015-17, med control. At our board meeting, which was held prior, we also did an additional resolution that we would ask that you consider as well tonight. Ours was resolution 15-22, requiring the closest ambulance response, Atlas Township, Genesee County, Michigan. Whereas the 911 consortium recognizes the need for high-quality emergency medical services to be provided to all outlying areas of Genesee County. Whereas it has been brought to their attention that ambulance response time is unacceptable for people who find themselves in the outlying areas of Genesee County in need of medical assistance. Now therefore it be resolved that the Board of Trustees of Atlas Township does hereby request the 911 consortium and dispatch to allow the closest ambulance in proximity to Atlas Township to be allowed to respond, even if it is in an adjacent municipal agency ambulance from outside of Genesee County, to come to the aid of Atlas Township for the benefit of the health, safety, and welfare of its residents. We have been, just as a matter of record, we have been in several discussions with medical control regarding the dispatch into Atlas Township, Village of Goodrich, for quite some time. Groveland Township and Brandon Township are our closest neighboring municipal providers, and they've been great resources for us. Groveland went to the expense of having the AVL units put on their ambulances at a high cost. And then they, prior to, were CAS certified because that was one of the requirements of Genesee County Medical Control. That cost Groveland overall, over the period of their CAS certification, almost $100,000. And they asked Medical Control last year to waive the CAS certification. Oakland County does not require CAS. CAS is an outside agency that reviews records and licenses and equipments and that, and does the certification. Groveland had asked that that be waived and just to allow them to operate within Atlas Township under the state municipal EMS code and license. Medical Control refused to allow them to operate. So only under extreme circumstances of like a mutual aid agreement or a disaster. If many of you remember, it's been a few years, but we had the injury at the football game. We waited 27 minutes for an ambulance to respond. And that ambulance call came in that they were at Saginaw and McCandlish for that incident. We have very long response times. Our fire chief has been cited through the state because he has actually gone and directly contacted Brandon or Groveland to send a rig out for an accident on M15 and that. This is, for us, it's really, it's unbelievable that we have to fight this long and this hard for a governing authority in Genesee County to allow Groveland to respond. On behalf of Mark Young, at the September 8th County Board of Commissioners meeting, they voted to withhold the county's funding to medical control until they came up with a resolution to change their protocol or their ruling to allow Groveland or Brandon. And it's not really for us, it's for all communities. It could be Forest Township, Benton Township, Argentine Township, they're all faced with the same issues to allow to operate. The week of October 30th, I received a proposal from medical control, and their response in the change was, if there's an ambulance that is 15 miles out from Atlas Township, that ambulance would respond. If it were further out than that, then they would allow Groveland to respond. Well, if you do a map and you look at it, you could be in Forest Township if you're the ambulance, you could be in Vienna Township or Thetford Township to get the call to come here all the way to Atlas or the village of Goodrich for a medical call. And that's not acceptable. I mean, we have people that even the deputies and paramedics will be doing CPR on an individual, and it's hard work, and they wait a long time. There was an article in the Flint Journal, a gentleman had a heart attack, and his wife commented that his friends were doing CPR on him in the barn, and it was like forever before the ambulance got there. It was 4 minutes. I mean, we wait 14 minutes, 17 minutes, 19 minutes. So we're really asking for the village's support on both of these resolutions. The one that you have prepared on your agenda, which is directing medical control, and then also another one for the 911 for dispatch, for them to be able to dispatch into Atlas Township or any township in the county that is in need of an ambulance. If you have any questions, I know it's a little bit out of order, but
I would accept it.
we've been at this for 6 years now, so we appreciate any support. Thank you.
And if anybody in council has questions, if you wanted to direct to.
We added that to the agenda now. For a resolution that she's wanting to pass.
It's on the resolution, that's number 8. Oh, the 911 one?
Correct.
So it would essentially be your same resolution with the agency change to, and I gave Jackie a copy. I apologize because we just did that at our board meeting, which was prior to your board meeting this evening.
That or when we're gonna have to have a special meeting, we're gonna have to deal with PA 152. We could add it at that point. Is that too late?
No.
We'll do it that way. That keeps
Okay.
everything in order.
Thank you.
Public comment.
Diane Fredericks, Terra Court. Again, very concerned that the village council is not really paying attention and taking care of the residents we're told that we're going to be taken care of. With regard to health care for the employees, every employer out there has been ordered by the state of Michigan by law to charge them a fee to get their health care. I just learned today 5%. The rest of us are paying 20%. Even the teachers union, which is one of the biggest unions out there, they're not even 80-20 copay. Really like you to revisit the 5% and increase that, because it's not fair to the taxpayers for us to carry the burden of this. And then also $10,000 for a dog. There seems to be money out there, it's just how it's being spent that just doesn't seem to be the best. We signed up for healthcare last week, we were paying them $1,000. So we want you guys to make the employees pay for the healthcare, or they don't get healthcare. Thank you.
Anyone else? move forward. Unfinished business, round number 2, the Genesee County Sheriff's Department report. Any comments? Front porch news? If there's nothing else, let's go on to number 3, reports of street administrator.
The first week of deer season, the sweepers will be back in town to get the rest of the leaves and sweep the streets. Also, we're going to have to look for a new employee. Aaron resigned today. He'll be done 2 weeks from today. He was good enough to give us a 2-week notice. The guy wanted him to start today. What it concerned with a pay raise. And I might add, he gets full benefits that he's not paying for. And we'll have to decide what we're gonna do. Aaron was a valuable employee to me. He was close to town when I needed him. He was very knowledgeable in what he did. He knew a lot. Quite mechanical. And that's why the person hired him to go to work for him. It's about all I have right now. We'll decide how we're going to, what steps to take to replace him. We can decide to put something together. We can okay it at our special meeting we're gonna have to have. We can put it on there then. Qualifications you gotta have, CDL, good driving record, backhoe experience, certified backhoe. I doubt if you'll get a certified grader person out there, because those guys can make a whole lot more money working someplace else than can for us.
Well, he's gonna be missed. We wish him the best. 911?
We're still meeting to look into replacing Mr. Phelan.
Mr. President, number 3, if I may. Under Pete's report there, finally suggests, we're probably going to have a special meeting to discuss this, but I think it would be wise also to consider that we don't hire a third DPW since it is becoming the winter months and workload will get slow. We're basically looking at snow removal and whatnot, salt roads. Just don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves and already having a candidate coming in. I think it'd be wise to look at the option of not having a third employee this time.
I think that's a lot of things we should look at. We should talk to Ethan, our administrator, see what they have to say, and discuss it. For right now, we're not going to do anything. Water and waste,
There's nothing to report.
Park and Recs.
I mentioned last time that Parks and Recs reviewed the Parks and Recs plan and recommended to council to adopt a resolution to pass it on to the state, which is showing up later on under new business. We had a meeting the other night and talked about different things that might be able to be done in the park area or the entrance off of Eagle Road that doesn't take a lot of money, but it's just sprucing up maybe some bushes, trees, things like that.
Is it possible to talk to the phone company and split the cost on blacktopping that area?
Maybe we talked about blacktop. They might be interested in it.
I think that'd be good for both parties.
Code enforcement? No report. Administrative downtown Christmas.
Somebody's here to talk about that.
Come on up.
I don't know what to say.
A lot, 'tis that time of year. It's always a great turnout, special event. I'm looking, in the last few years, we've closed off the road, Eagle Road, 2-block section, 6 to 9. I will have, if I can borrow the barricades, I have the banners to put up the week prior to it, so there's notification. I personally will make sure all the businesses and houses know that it's going on, and I will call the deputy, sheriff's the retirement, and they, no, yeah, and, they come and help block traffic. So I'm just asking for approval, permission to do such.
She's looking for a motion.
It's been 18 years.
Once again, the date was what?
December 3rd, the first Thursday.
Would like to make a motion?
Make a motion on December 3rd at the Village Assistant closing down Eagle Road between 6 and 9 and the use of our barricades.
I'll support that. Roll call, please.
Cafferty?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Baldwin?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I have something under administrative. Probably all noticed that there have been a lot of people burning leaves.
No.
I don't know if you were or not. Burning leaves in the village of Goodrich where the houses are as close together as we are in the ditches and the side of the road creates a health problem for a lot of people. So I would like direction from the council to maybe work on an ordinance that would stop the burning of leaves in the village of Goodrich. If nothing else, in the road, you know, we had a burning situation when we were out walking the pathway the other day, and it was horrendous.
Are we gonna make it available for the people to put to the road, the leaves? They have to have a way to dispose of them.
They get composting with their garbage.
We just need the bags now.
What you have to buy?
They can go up to Browns, get a discount. We set that up a long time ago to buy bags, but
Mr. President, question. Is there a certain area of the village that you're more concerned with?
probably the Grove, the northern addition, where the houses are real close together. I think, I don't know if anybody burns in the subdivisions because they get.
Don't have many
down. I don't
trees yet.
think so.
You need the trees.
Yeah. So I guess the majority of it would be in the original village area.
There's been a lot burning in my area, but I haven't burned any. I've been mulching mine.
I'm just looking for consensus to go ahead and look into it and then bring something back to council that they can take a look at and adopt.
I would support that. I would make a motion that you go ahead and put something together, let the council look at the ordinance and go from there. Need a second?
I second that.
Roll call, please.
Jackie, I mean, are you looking for a motion or just consensus to go forward?
A motion to go forward and do it, or consensus, whichever. Could be a
I didn't know if we actually needed a motion on that. I'm just getting a consensus to go through it.
Oh, you got
However you want to do it.
You got one too?
Yeah, we got to carry through. Roll call, please.
McCafferty?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Dick?
No.
Baldwin?
Yes.
As I mentioned earlier, I will be on vacation, starting next Wednesday, so I'll be back on the 1st of December.
Number 6 is sidewalks.
The sidewalks downtown were done with the slurry put underneath them, but if anybody has any other place that they know of, please let us know. That might need repair.
Is everybody aware of the area that you're talking about? Extended-
Eagle Road on both sides, down by the bridge and by the parking lot.
Noticeable improvement. Good job, Mike, well done. Any other?
To the, sorry, Mr. President, on there. The sidewalk that's over by the small apartments that's just west of the dam a little ways, did that bigger chunk get fixed while they were raising, or is that still being looked at?
Still being looked at. That's actually private property.
Attorney? Code of conduct, elected officials.
I've been in contact with MML, and they're taking a look at some of the items that we checked off, if you will, on the paperwork that I gave you a while ago to see about putting together a combination of a couple of those programs and getting back with me with a cost, and we can move forward after the first of the year if that's something that people are interested in doing.
And then I'm assuming when Tom has time, he's gonna still review that email.
Anything else?
No.
New business. Resolution 2015-13, Planning Commission appointments. Please.
3 planning commission appointments expired, so this is simply renewing their appointments. Just looking for a motion to approve resolution 2015-13.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 2015-13.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Cafferty?
Yes.
Maureen?
Yes.
Vic?
Yes.
Baldwin?
Yes.
Number 215-14, the zoning board of appeals alternate expired. She needs to be reappointed again. Looking for a motion.
Make a motion, we approve resolution 2015-14.
Support. Roll call.
Corey?
Yes.
Cafferty?
Yes.
Vic?
Yes.
Baldwin?
Yes. This is number 3 of the resolution that we've kind of flip-flopped some things around on.
15 has been tabled. The next item on there is, with regret, I hope, the resignation of Ed York from our zoning board of appeals. Need a motion to accept.
Make a motion, we accept Ed York's resignation.
Support.
Roll call.
Cafferty?
Yes.
Maureen?
Yes.
Vic?
Yes.
Baldwin?
And if I could just make a request, we are in need of another zoning board of appeals person. If anybody wants to volunteer for that position, please contact the village office, or if anybody knows of somebody that you want to talk to, please talk to them and have them contact the village office. The next item is Community Development Fund transfer. They started a new program for public service money that they're allocating to municipalities. The village of Goodrich is in line for 1,602. I talked to Shirley. They are receiving 6,439. If we combine both of our projects, it will go a long way in providing services to the senior citizens in the program that they have, or if they have any money left over for the library. So I'm looking for a motion to transfer that 1,602 to Atlas Township. There isn't really anything that we can do on our own that would qualify, and this would meet the needs of the village residents as well as the township for the Silver Foxes.
Looking for a motion?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we transfer the 1602 to Atlas Township.
Support?
Support.
Discussion real quick, President, if I may. I'm assuming we have a tally on how much this money we loan out every year. Or, okay, and then how do we actually get that money back?
When we have a project.
Do we know the total amount of funds we've had loaned out over the years?
Right, it's around
19,000. And what projects actually qualify for this program?
projects that are in OMAD areas. When we had the library building, we did the tuck pointing on the outside of the building. We put the new door in and the ramp. We did a low-interest loan program that the gentleman that owns the Eagle Block or Cranberries, that whole block right there, borrowed money from the village on a no-interest loan program. The biggest thing is it has to be in a low mod area for like sidewalks or roads or something like that.
Is there like a target number that we can't exceed on the amount of money we loan out over a period of time before we have to request it back and use it or whatever? Like how?
No, we've
Okay.
loaned it out 3 times, I think.
Okay.
Right now, Argentine is going to be using it.
Anything else? Bill?
McCafferty?
Yes.
Maureen?
Yes.
Sid?
Yes.
Baldwin?
Yes.
The next resolution is 21516, Parks and Recs Master Plan. Looking for a motion to approve, to send it on into the state for their review and hopefully approval.
Couple of questions, Mr. President, before we get a motion, please. I'm reading this, well, first let me ask this question. This was something that we had purchased, I'm assuming, or that we paid for to have done?
Yes.
That'd be correct, okay. So the information that's in here would be pretty factual, and that the stuff that they're referring to, the supporting documentation, we'd be able to grab if we asked for it?
The statistical information, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's primarily taken from the census for the Parks and Recs, surrounding Parks and Recs. Am I understanding your question?
Yes. I have a follow-up question, just gotta get to the right page. So on page 25 of the Parks and Rec master plan that you emailed me, it says the village recently conducted a study of the Mill Pond, the Mill Pond Dam, which is located at the south end of the park. The study recommended several improvements to the maintenance of the dam, including reconstruction of the spillway to control water flow and improvement recreational access to the Mill Pond, as well as pedestrian access from Eagle Road. It has a little more information in there. I'm a little confused in that because when I first came into office, I asked for the village to do a study on the benefits of repairing, keeping, or removing the dam, and I was told that there was not one, and ultimately the dam has gotten removed off unfinished business, and we're not able to talk about it with other circumstances with the lawsuit and stuff. So I guess I'm asking, where is the study currently at that this master plan is stating that we have?
That part of the study has been completed. We worked with Waitrim and a couple other groups to study the dam, study the repairs needed for the dam, and then the final report that we received was trying to combine activities for recreation in the future when we needed to or wanted to repair or replace the dam. Like putting a launching ramp in for kayaks on the Mill Pond side of Eagle Road, fishing, those types of things. The study pretty much stopped when we didn't move forward with anything. I mean, it was a study, it was completed.
Okay, but was that more of a, I guess, a bid that was requested to see how much it costs to put a spillway in with all these other changes, and then it just got included into the master plan?
It wasn't a bid to do the project, it was a program that we were working on and looking at what we might need to do to repair the dam structure. And in the meantime, when the sinkholes were found, we brought in a company to repair the dam that secured the dam, and the dam's fine right now. We're still working on, that's still part of what we might be looking at doing on a long-term basis, in order to get any recreational money to put in the kayak area or the fishing pier or something like that. It needs to be included into the Parks and Recs plan.
Okay, and then a couple more things, Mr. President. I guess my concerns would be with this. I understand, I guess, now the purpose of adding the dam to here, so we can have, get grant money, I'm assuming associated with, that's why you gotta have it in the master plan. But my concerns are if we're not able to discuss the dam in general because of litigation purposes, I don't know that we should be voting on a master plan that has dam language or anything to do with our dam right now.
The language in there is to provide coffer dam effect, which would provide for a fishing pier.
But that would still be changing the structure of the actual dam, the purpose, the coffer dam would be a little
For
different than what we
recreational
have now.
purposes.
Yeah. Okay. My second question would be, is in the resolution, whereas a public comment session was held on November 9th, I believe that's today's date, 2015, at the Village Hall to provide an opportunity for citizens to express opinions, ask questions, and discuss all aspects of the recreational plan, and whereas. I don't see anywhere on our agenda that states a public comment session, excuse me. I don't know of any public hearing that was actually posted
There
for
wasn't.
the public to be able to come in and have an opportunity to speak on here.
We did have that, that just has the wrong date on it. Yeah. I can change the date on it. We had a public hearing. I don't remember what the date was, but I can look it up and put it in there. We had to have a public hearing, and there was a notice put in the paper for the public hearing on the Parks and Recs plan.
But was that after our Parks and Recs committee had the time to go over this and have their changes to it? I don't believe we've had a public hearing since their recommendation to the council, and this is my understanding that they went over this and this is their recommendation. And I don't believe we've had a hearing since then.
No, we have not.
No.
The changes that were made by the Parks and Recs committee were minor. We were talking about making sure that we had certain things in there, taking out fees, making sure that the names of the Goodrich Village volunteers, the walk, run, bike, Atlas Township, there weren't major changes that were done to the Parks and Recs plan, in my opinion. There were changes, but nothing that would change the content of the whole program of the Parks and Recs plan.
Okay, so seeing that, and I understand I'm new to fairly quite a few processes here. However, when we're getting a study done and paying this amount of money, to me, this looks like just a more of a long-term ideas on what we could do.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay, and I thought in order to get the grants and whatnot, is kind of the purpose for having the Parks and Rec Committee, that they come to us with a timeline of projects they want, what they want to start with, the amount of money that they're looking for to spend on it. I thought in order to get a grant, you got to have that kind of a timeline in here. I don't know that this needs to really be approved, other than it's a good template for them to work off of, but I'm not seeing any recommendations from the Parks and Recs committees on what they're actually going to do. I'll give you one example, if I may. Here on Street Park, the village purchased a 40-foot by 60-foot piece of land on the Goodrich Mill Pond to provide access to the pond for fishing. To enhance this opportunity, the village weed treated the pond to improve water quality, and volunteers from the village of Goodrich are working to replenish the fish stock. So the volunteers of the village of Goodrich, I applaud them for that. One, I don't know how they're doing that. Are they going after grants, or is this something that is being presented to us by the Parks and Recs Committee? And there's a lot of language in there like that. I'm seeing a lot of things with the volunteers from the volunteers from the village. However, I don't know and I could be wrong, and I'm sure you'll correct me, but I think if we're gonna be going after grants, we should be having a more outlined agenda on where we're starting, how much we're looking to spend, and what we're looking to improve first, of what areas.
That's not what the purpose of the Parks and Rec plan is. The Parks and Rec plan is to give everyone an overall view of what we might be looking to do, which is listed in there. The areas, Curzon Creek Park, doing things at the mill pond for fishing, doing things in the park. It's designed to be broad so that it's not all encompassing, like everything that's in there you have to do and you can't do anything that's not in there. It's just so you have a Parks and Rec plan and you can move forward. It lets the state know that you're interested in putting a plan together. You're going to be following it. You have a Parks and Recs committee to give input to the council, and then you can apply for your grants.
So then, and this may be off topic, Mr. President, I apologize for stepping into this, but how do you actually apply for the grants off of this if there's really no money associated with it, or an actual, an agenda on what we want first? So to me, it looks like, and I don't mean to interrupt, Jake, I'm sorry, but to me, it looks like the Parks and Recreational Master Plan is anybody can just go, okay, I want to start doing this and let's go for a grant on it. How do they determine what's first priority out of this plan?
Council determines that. If the Parks and Recs Parks and Recs committee wanted to make a recommendation to council to look into redoing the tennis courts, tearing the tennis courts down, making the basketball courts, they could make a recommendation to council. Council would direct me to write a grant to the DNR trust, the DNR, and see if we qualified for the funds that would be available for that. There are funds available to purchase property, there's funds available to do recreational programs, there's funds available for recreational education programs. This is a working document. It's not, in concrete. You can do, we did put the surveys in there that had a few of the other ideas that people had that the community might want to see. So there's a broad scope of what we might be able to do in there. It's not a cut and dry. That's answering your question.
So if I may follow up one more thing, I'm just going to try to talk loud and keep that thing down. It's in my ear, I'm sorry. Again, I think it would be important for the public to be able to have a voice in this now that it's presented. I'm assuming, I guess, the second time. I think there has been a little bit of changes in there. I don't know if the public was aware that this meeting was going to happen. Again, I'm looking at the Fleece and Vanderbrink timeline on here, and I think we still have a lot of time. Their suggested timeline for planning is create a recreational plan. Draft a plan available for public comment, local adoption, recreational plan to grants management approval. I mean, this starts from the first one, create a recreational plan, I apologize, October 2015 to January 2016, so we still have time. Draft a plan available for public comment. To recommend that be about January 28th or sometime in February. So I think we don't really need a rush on this. I would like the public's input on what they would like to see done.
That's no problem. We can schedule a public hearing before the council meeting in December. We already have one, but
Yeah.
there's no problem in doing it. If that's the direction, we can table this resolution and direct me to put a public hearing together.
Could we have, just to try to kill two birds with one stone, so to speak, but we got to have a special meeting anyway for what we discussed earlier. Do we have the public hearing on that same day?
I'm going next week. I mean, doing a couple things while I'm gone.
No,
You can handle that, but I don't have time.
I'm going as well. I mean, we're both going deer hunting, so I mean, we understand.
I'm not going deer
Oh, okay. Well, it's not-
Well, deer hunting, but it's not your deer hunting.
We know you are.
All inclusive?
That's Your new little orange outfit.
Maybe.
So we got the Public Act 152 we wanted to look at, and I think there was maybe the Goodrich senior living that we had to address as well. Or are we gonna move that to the December meeting?
That's gonna be when they can come in.
Okay.
So far, we have PA 152 and the 911 resolution that Ms. Robinson was talking about. And then you wanted to talk about the DPW employee. Oh, that's a lot to be on a special meeting when, if there's anything that I need to prepare for it. Like a public hearing, you have to put a notice in the paper X number of days before you have it, so you would be into the first week of December before you could probably have it.
Well, if we're gonna kick the can down the road on the park and rec plan, why don't we just hold off until the first part of December on a regular meeting?
The reason that we want to get it into the state and by January, February, is what I told the plan, or the Parks and Recs Commission, is they have to review it and give the approval within a time period, so that if we wanted to write a grant for the first release, it would already be approved and ready to go. There's 2 time periods you can write a grant. I don't know that we would be writing a grant this year, but at least the Parks and Recs plan would be in there in case we wanted to. Our next council meeting is not till the 14th, so we have
Christmas is in there.
time during the first week and the second week of December that we could do that, or you can have your public hearing right before that. I can put the Parks and Recs plan on the website, people to review.
Should we also ask the Parks and Rec Committee to provide us a more comprehensive plan, along with the Parks and Recreational Master Plan?
To do what?
Provide a more comprehensive plan than what's just the generic in here. Details of what we're really looking to have
We
done.
can give you the minutes of the last couple of meetings. I mean, we went over a lot of different things at those meetings, so we could, is that what you're asking?
Well, I mean.
We're not having another Parks and Recs Committee meeting until January.
Okay, I guess then I'm asking, should we have another one before January? Before the public hearing, so they have something maybe to present, and then we can share with the public and let them give their input on what the committee has done.
Well, you can speak for their time frame.
And we decided at the last meeting and the meeting before that we weren't gonna have a December meeting. I can contact people. Angie Adamek is the chairman and she can see, but the consensus of everybody was that they didn't wanna have a meeting. The next meeting is January. But again, I can give you the minutes of the meetings and maybe that would answer the question that you have. Because we went over a lot of different items that everybody would like to see happen and what they would like to start doing, considering that there isn't a lot of money available right now. Potentially.
Where does that leave us?
Well, I think we're looking at a date for the public hearing for the residents to have an opportunity to speak on this issue. I think Jackie was asking if we want to have it on before our regular council meeting on the 14th, or...
What's good for everybody?
When we've had them before, we start the meeting at 7 and have the public hearing during that time, or you can have it at 6 o'clock again. 6:30.
Have it at 7, start the meeting afterwards. There's usually not too much to do in December.
Is that satisfactory to everybody?
Sure.
So it's the 14th regular council meeting? It's just gonna be.
You want to do it after the council meeting?
No, before.
Before. So before, was the time decided?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
We're going to start our regular
Oh,
council, we're just
okay,
going to have
okay, we're
the
gonna
public
do
hearing
this
before.
Okay, got it.
And Anything else on that one? Good. The Metro Alliance appointment.
So, excuse me, but we need to table that resolution.
Make a motion to
Postpone
table.
that resolution to December 14th.
Make a motion to table resolution 2015-16 to December 14th.
Support.
You ready?
McCafferty?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Baldwin?
Yes.
Metro Alliance, the dues are due again. Mr. Brennan was the council representative and Mr. McAbee, he's here, volunteered to be the citizen representative. We need to determine whether or who would represent the council in this. This is the, just for re-explanation, this is the deciding factor for any monies that are released through the Metropolitan Alliance or the TIP program that is coming up at the end of the meeting, the Spicer. This is the final say as to whether or not these projects get moved forward to be reviewed by the state. So we need to have an elected official. And I don't know if Doug would still be interested or not. It's on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock once a month, except for they cancel most of the time in the summer.
We're looking for a volunteer.
Golf on Wednesday. We gotta make a motion, pay this $150. Make a motion, we pay the $150 to Metro Alliance. That's our dues. Our dues. They're not gonna give you any money if you don't pay your dues.
I'll support that.
McCafferty?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Baldwin?
Yes.
Still need a person.
Yep, still gonna have somebody that's gonna take Tim's.
When do you have to know by, if I may ask? I need to look at a bigger schedule than what's here. No, not that one.
I think we
You have no clue except you're going hunting soon.
I think we have to have it in by the first of the year, so next meeting, or if you,
Are you interested in it? I honestly don't know that I can.
she's on two. Yeah, I'm doing too much.
We know what our time frame is,
It says by the first of the year.
so we've got between now and December for somebody.
There you go.
Somebody.
There you go.
You could nominate her.
You don't show up anyway.
Dirty pool, huh? Should we do it? I'd like to nominate Mr. Horton.
There you go.
I support that.
He didn't say no.
I support that.
Roll call. He won't.
Are you serious? Am I right?
Yeah, I am serious.
Somebody wanna check with Mr. McAbee and see if he still wants to be? I can email him. if you want me
Do you want to email him, please, or else I can? Why don't you go ahead and give him an email and try to follow it too. All right, now the final thing is your Spicer group, correct?
Yeah, the ambulance.
Oh, yes, med control. I apologize. I gotta went through that one too.
If anybody has any questions, I can answer them, but Shirley covered it pretty good when she was talking about it, and then I will prepare the same resolution, but directing it to 911.
Any questions?
Just for clarification, surely there's a. So I understand what she's saying with the 911, but is that resolution that we're gonna be looking at, when somebody were to call 911, that we're going to dispatch out to the closest person through that system? Is that-
When they dispatch somebody right now,
Mhm.
they usually are dispatching the person, the ambulance service that is the closest, with the exception of Brandon and Groveland are closer to the village of Goodrich and Allis Township than any of the other areas where they, if you've been in Grand Blanc, there's 2 ambulance companies sitting, one at Big John's and one down the street further. That's one of the ones that we waited 27 minutes for to get to the high school when the football player got knocked out. There were a surgeon and the paramedics and the fire department were all out there, but none of them can transport. So the kid laid on the ground. So what we're trying to do is make it so that we can get the closest ambulance, whether it's licensed in Genesee County or not.
They have to get on their contact list as well.
Right, and they are on the contact list right now, but according to Med Control, if there's another ambulance within that 15-mile area that Shirley talked about, if you've driven out to even Genesee Valley Mall, which is a drive in itself, for an ambulance to come here while you're bleeding or laying on the floor or whatever, that's a long distance when we have one that's a few miles down the road. So that's what we're trying to do is, and whether, again, like it's in Forest Township, they've got people in Lapeer or some other area. It's not just down here, it's a case all over the place.
Other questions, comments? Looking for a motion.
Make a motion we pass resolution number 1517, requiring a closest ambulance response to village of Goodrich, Genesee County. They'll probably also say Atlas Township when you
It's
do it.
Atlas Township.
I have that in the,
Okay,
in the text of the resolution.
but that's for ours.
I'll support that. Roll call, please.
McCaffrey?
Yes.
Warren?
Yes.
Cliff?
Yes.
Baldwin?
Yes.
There's a proposal from the Spicer Group. First, I'm going to give you a little background information. We have a call for projects right now. It's for 2017, 18, 19, and 20. Call for projects is for work on the roads that we make application. It's an 80-20 split. The federal government / state pay 80%, we pay 20%. We have looked at doing something with Hegel Road over the last, I don't know, 5-10 years. We did put a project in the 214 call for projects, but the road wasn't in the shape that it's in right now, so other areas qualified. The reason that we have the Spicer Group putting a proposal in is the state of Michigan and Federal Highway have come up with a ridiculous breakdown, I guess I want to call it. They have come up with that if, for instance, we had Wade Trim put this application in for us, that they could not bid on the preliminary engineering or construction engineering. So that's why the Spicer Group in Saginaw, I worked with Jason at Wade Trim, and we came up with that company would be able to put a program together for us to meet the deadline, which is Friday. The county came up with this call for projects the first part of October. They sent the information out to the municipalities and sent a person out to talk to us about what we might have available the middle of October, and everybody is in the same position that they're scurrying around trying to get somebody to do this proposal for them. That isn't interested in doing PE and CE. So we went outside of our general area. Spicer doesn't usually work doing those types of projects. It's a service, so we don't necessarily have to go out for 3 bids. We don't have time to go out for 3 bids if we want to put this program together. What they would be doing is looking at Eagle Road from the, where we ended at the golf club, all the way down to the end of the village. But we're going to put it together in a 3-section time frame from the golf course to the top of the hill, from the top of the hill down to the bottom of the hill, putting curb and gutter, and then going out to the rest of the village. We don't know, I'm assuming that the project's in its entirety would be $1 million. And if we can break it down into different sections and clear up the worst part, if you will, of the road, we can possibly put them in for like 17, 18, 19, 20, something like that. This is a placeholder so that if we want to go forward with the project, say in 2020, we have to designate a year. This would, if we qualify for the money, would allow us to do that project if the funding was good at that time. Any questions?
If I may, you may have said this and I lost it through that. But how do you qualify for the funding?
How bad your road is, the safety aspect of it. There's criteria that we have to follow when we fill out the application. The cost involved, what we're going to do with the road, whether we're going to do a total reconstruction, we're going to do a mill and resurface, or we're going to mill down 4 inches and put in 4 inches of new asphalt. Some of them do chip and seal. We're not looking at doing that. That's not going to help our road at all.
So then potentially we're gonna spend $3,800 just for you guys to come out and tell us if we qualify for the money? Is that how I'm understanding this?
We already qualify for the money because the TREASURE report, which is a condition of the road, we're below a 4. It's just whether or not there are other communities that have worse roads than we do that are applying for the money. And there, like I said, there's a 4-year tip, so it can be qualified for the first round, the second round, the third round. We can push it back if we want to push it back. But yeah, it's if you don't make an application for it, this is just like making an application for a grant. I mean, I could put some numbers together, but you have to have an engineer sign the piece of paper, and I can calculate some things, but I can't calculate the numbers that are required for the asphalt, the milling, the concrete, everything else that goes with it.
Does the state help pick up part of that 80/20, which is the study amount? Or is that just for the road funding if we apply?
Road funding.
If we or we don't meet this deadline and we apply next year, we'd be applying for what year?
You don't apply next year. You apply for the tip, which the tip is those years that I mentioned.
4 years. You couldn't apply again for 4 years. You need to apply.
We applied in 2014, and like I said, we didn't make the cut, so to speak. The road is older now and falling apart more.
And this is just for the $38.50, because it says we will submit monthly invoices to you for our professional services. Is
There would be a
there-
lump sum, I'm sure. I mean, it has to be in by Friday. They're really gonna be working. They met Jason from Wade Trim out there on Friday afternoon to go over what we had already gone over with Jason. So they've already gone over and above, if you want to call it that.
Is there only certain roads that qualify for this funding? there only certain roads in our village that qualify for this funding?
Eagle Road, east, west, Erie Street, we got funding for Erie Street. Pontiac Street.
The school's gonna help out a lot.
That's federal eligible roads is what it's called.
Oh, Seneca. Is Seneca on here?
I'm hearing a question from the audience. Is Seneca one of those roads that's considered the?
No. Pontiac Street does too, then. The reason Seneca does it is because it has to be blacktop by the residents beforehand. Once the residents would blacktop that street and pay the initial cost the first time, then it probably would qualify the second time, due to the fact it's in the school area. Same way with Cemetery and the rest of Pontiac Street going to the north. They will not give you money to blacktop a dirt road.
Anybody have any questions?
And in 4 years from now, if we decide we can't afford it, what happens? We have to go forward, or can we opt out?
No.
You're going to pass a resolution at the next meeting that everyone's in favor of going forward with this project. By then, we'll know what the cost is. But like I say, they don't like you to back out, but under a lot of the people that are in the current TIP, they weren't able to do their projects. I mean, if you don't have the money, you don't have the money.
Last question, is there any other funding that we could go after for the Eagle Road repairs?
This is surface transportation funding that so much is allocated. I don't know if you've heard them talk about T21 over the years and different acronyms that the federal government right now just gave an extension until, I think it's November 1st, for the existing plan, and they're creating a new plan. This is clear as mud. And the plan tells us what kind of money we're actually gonna get in to the state of Michigan for these types of programs. Not the Act 51 money.
Any other discussion?
I have none.
We have the money to pay for this with that extra money that the state's giving us from the general fund that we talked about before. We used some of it on the engineering, or we were going to, for Clarence Street. So
Make a
I guess I'm
motion.
looking for a motion, if that's what you want to do.
I make a motion, we go forward with the 3850 displacers to get on the list to repair Eagle Road. I think it's much quieter when the trucks go down through there and there's a lot of them.
Looking for support?
Support. McCafferty?
Yeah.
Maury?
Yes.
Dick?
Abstain.
Baldwin?
You don't have to vote on the motion.
Yeah, you gotta go one way or another. If you vote no on it, you can't abstain.
You don't have to vote on the motion.
Yes, you do.
I don't think there's enough information here for me to decide on a vote, so I don't have to vote on the motion. I'm abstaining on the motion. They do the same thing in Lansing when they're going around and doing resolutions. I've said on those meetings.
Not supposed to.
Baldwin?
Yes.
That's all I got.
Salem Ridge Road. Can I get a copy of that Parks and Rec plan?
I'll put it on the website, is that okay?
Like this
Or do you
week?
want me to email it to you?
Email would be fine, yeah, as long as I can print it out, it'd be great. And then, I don't know if this is something you guys can help out with, but anyone living in the village, kind of by me, I don't know if you've noticed the ridiculous amount of feral cats that we have running around. I don't know what can be done about it, but I'd like to get rid of some of those critters. I just wanted to mention it,
Where's
there's a
Levi?
lot of them, and I kind of know where a lot of them are hiding and living, and I see them every morning trying to get in my garage. So, I just like, you know, I don't know if there's something that can be done, but,
They come from the apartment house, people move and the cat ain't there, they just leave it.
well, they're not obviously spayed or neutered, I mean, they're multiplying by the month, so.
It got worse when they tore down that building,
Which building?
that dilapidated one there on Pontiac Street.
Oh, well, that and there's been some like, you know, sheds, like really old, you know, and then a lot of older homes, they have like gaps, like under their garages, you know, and you got them, you got the gophers, you know, whatever, and there's all kinds of rodents around, but the cats are controlled.
I agree.
Okay.
I know the good ones here.
Patricia Wartella. Mr. Baldwin, I have a couple of questions. Maybe you could point it out to me on the grade sheets. On the Treasury report on the construction 2013, it was questioned about the $3,156 that was spent out of that account for gravel on Erie Street. Would that receipt be on here?
That's for gravel, I have to go back to the
Would you write that down, please, so we can find out where that receipt is? And with that balance there that's left on that treasury report of $15,168.42, is that amount going to be applied to the principal of the bond on Erie Street Dutch Road Bridge? You can get back with me. Yes? Okay. The other thing that I'd like to address finally is, I realized that we had an open meeting at 6 o'clock regarding personnel policy. And we just went through the healthcare, we had a special meeting on healthcare. During the time that you do sign up for healthcare, do you request that the employees bring in proof of marriage licenses, their dependents, and all the documentation that's needed for the healthcare that we provide to the village employees? Because I think this is critical. I think that as a taxpayer, I would request that. And I also was part of negotiations myself. And every year that we provided, or we had sign up for healthcare, everybody had to provide that information to make sure that we are giving healthcare to dependents that are employed here and that are part of that, or in the event that possibly we're giving healthcare to somebody we shouldn't be. Thank you.
Council? Council, have any comments?
Of course, we get proof of everything. You can't get the insurance through a provider if you don't provide all the information that Mrs. Wartella mentioned. And if you look on the front page, it says $3,153.33. That's the answer to your question.
Where's that at?
On the first page, Goodrich Express.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. But is the rest of it gonna go towards the principal?
I don't make that decision.
I don't think we made that call yet.
One thing I forgot to mention, the whole of Pursley Street's still there. The county will get to it, I guess, when they get to it. They had it staked by mistake, but it has not been fixed yet. They gotta dig up the road because the drain broke.
Where is that?
Pursley Street. Other than that, I make a motion we adjourn if nobody else has got anything. I'm gonna hold supper. Did I cook? Did I eat?
Support.
We just got off.